The PNP finally revealed the whereabouts of community doctor Maria Natividad Castro a day after she was arrested from her home. Presidential candidate Manny Pacquiao promised some vendors, drivers, and fishermen in Caloocan free housing if he's elected president. The health department is optimistic that all areas in the Philippines will soon shift to alert level 1. One expert says long COVID is not just about physical symptoms but also produces long-term effects on our mental health. Focused and fearless, here's everything you need to know to jumpstart your weekend. I'm Riza Diaz. Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong says he is optimistic that the Lacson-Soto tandem will get many votes in the city after the warm welcome they received during their caravan yesterday. Here's the report.
No less than Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong accompanied presidential candidate Senator Ping Lacson and his running mate Senate President Tito Soto as they campaigned around the city yesterday. The tandem stopped every now and then to take selfies with their supporters. Lacson says he is happy with the turnout of supporters, but one of his main concerns is following health protocols and social distancing.
Talaga mahirap ding iwasan, pero as much as possible, after you become conscious, talaga mag-maintain ka ng distance.
For the tandem, getting the support of Baguio City will be a big achievement since it's a hub for people from other provinces too.
Well, it's important na yung mga taong nandito, nakikita kami, tapos nagkakaroon ng engagement. Kasi nga, hindi lang limited nga na taga Baguio ang nakakasalamuhan natin dito. Kasi pag tinatanong mo, talagang kung saan sila nanggagaling o nanggaling na lugar. Even yesterday, sa Tamawa na pinuntahan namin, marami talaga ibang lugar. Nagugulat ka ako namamasal sila sa Baguio, especially during weekends.
Meanwhile, Magalong says he was also surprised with the turnout, and while he can't promise a sure win among the residents of Baguio, he is optimistic that the Lacson-Soto tandem will do great in the city on election day.
Nagulat nga ako very warm. Ang Baguio kasi is very intelligent yung mga voters niyan. Nakikita ko naman there will be very optimistic ako. Very optimistic ako because meron namang nampunta rito mga ka-warm yung pagsalubong nila. Kaya ako naman tuwan-tuwa lang.
The tandem is also set to visit Nueva Ecija today, where they will meet with farmers.
Meanwhile, presidential aspirant and Senator Manny Pacquiao visited the vote-rich province of Laguna. While no endorsements were made, hundreds welcomed the senator as he made his way around the province. Pacquiao also met with some vendors, drivers, and fishermen and promised them free housing for the first 3 years of his term if elected president. The senator also reiterated that the country should stop electing corrupt leaders, which he said was the root of the country's woes, and once again vowed to get rid of corrupt officials.
Kaya nga pag ako naging presidente, kumanta na lahat. Kasi madugo talaga. Hindi naman madugo na patayan, pero madugo para makulong lahat ng mga kawatan sa gobyerno. Dito ko ipakita sa kanila kung sino si Manny Pacquiao. Lahat. Hindi ko sila sasagutin sa mga pag-insulto nila sa akin, pero sasagutin ko sila sa pamamagitan ng aking performance pagdating na panahon.
Youth groups in Isabela continue to express their support for the Lenny-Kiko tandem as they create more murals in nearby areas. Marian Enriquez with a story.
In this highway along Barangay San Placido in Rojas, Isabela, a group of youth can be seen painting this wall pink with the phrase Rosas para sa Rojas in big bold letters. They are youth volunteers for Lenny and Kiko here in Isabela. They said the materials they are using are all donations from the supporters of Vice President Lenny Robredo and Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
We were trying to break that invisible wall since nasa north, solid north, and lahat naman kami mulat lang sa katotohanan. Yung goal po talaga is to inspire others or yung mga tahimik dito na ipakita na may mga kakamping na hindi solid north ang Isabela.
Recall that Isabela Governor Rodito Albano earlier claimed that the province is a Marcos country. Albano has also formally endorsed the Marcos-Duterte tandem.
Ito talaga Marcos country. Doon pa, kahit di pupunta dahil doon sa mga ginawa ng tatay niya. Di ba ano yun, yung dam. Yung dam.
Mga 80% makuha.
80%. Conservative, 80%.
In fact, the first pink wall painted by volunteers in Echaga, Isabela was erased, then later vandalized. However, the youth supporters from Rojas, Isabela were not discouraged. They made some alterations to the mural and removed the name of Lenny to prevent it from being erased again.
Mas nagtungo kami dun sa symbolism na route. Siguro naman yung pagka-pink at pagka-rosas ay maiintindihan na rin ng mga tao.
Robredo's youth supporters also admit that they often receive harsh words from passers-by in the province, as many are in support of Marcos Jr.
Kadalasan po kasi yung mga dumadaan dito since highway, may mga titigil, may mga iikot and babalik na BBM kami, Lenny, lugaw, lugaw yan, ganun po. Pero at some point, nasasaktan pa rin po kami, pero kailangan po talaga namin tumindig para po malaman na may boses talaga ang mga kabataan dito sa Isabela kahit pa sabihin nilang province of Marcos po ito.
However, they remain unfazed and more determined to fight for their freedom to express support for the Robredo-Pangilinan tandem. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Now, as COVID-19 cases continue to go down in the country, the DOH said it was optimistic that all areas in the Philippines will soon shift to Alert Level 1. In yesterday's Laging Handa briefing, DOH spokesperson Maria Rosario Vergeres said the health department is monitoring just 7 areas with a high number of COVID-19 cases. But before shifting to Alert Level 1, Vergeres said the country must ramp up its vaccination. She also emphasized the importance of self-regulation once the country shifts to the lowest alert level status.
Dito po sa new normal, pag pinag-usapan, Alert Level 1 doesn't have any restrictions at all. Tayo po ay makakabalik na sa dati nating kinagawian. Ngunit, mag-retain ho natin yung ating pag-self-regulate. Ibig sabihin, yung behavior po ng tao kailangan mabago.
Still on COVID-19, less than 2,000 new infections were logged yesterday, the lowest daily tally so far this year. The total caseload stands at above 3,650,000, some 62,500 of which are still active. The virus killed 198 more patients overnight, pushing the death toll to more than 55,600. Survivors are now at 3.5 million, with more than 5,000 new recoveries yesterday. Nearly 8% out of more than 27,700 tests recently conducted yielded positive results. This is the lowest positivity rate since December 28, 2021, although 6 labs were not able to submit data. Now, here are some of the stories we're following across the nation. The PNP has finally disclosed the location of community teacher and human rights worker Natividad Castro a day after she was arrested from her home. PNP spokesperson Roderick Alba says upon her arrest, Castro was immediately flown to Bayugan City in Agusan del Sur, where she is presently detained. The Commission on Human Rights has been informed of her present status. PNP claimed that Castro is a member of the Communist Party of the Philippines Central Committee. The CHR is now investigating possible violations committed by the police in the arrest and detention of community doctor Maria Natividad Castro. Acaraga police said Castro was allegedly involved in the kidnapping of a member of a CAFGU active auxiliary in Agusan del Sur. But the Free Legal Assistance Group, or FLAG, is demanding to know where the police took Castro, who has last been seen with relatives in PNP Camp Crame on Friday. only does the coronavirus pandemic affect our physical health, but one expert says COVID-19 also produces long-term effects on our mental health. So how do we prepare for the pandemic's aftermath? This Bloomberg Quick Take will tell us.
The diseases that we're talking about right now as a result of COVID-19 in the long term are chronic diseases that really will scar people for a lifetime. Specifically, the mental health disorders, we see across the board anxiety, depression, we see sleep problem, neurocognitive decline, opioid use disorders. It's really across the board. Even people who did not get hospitalized are also exhibiting increased risk of mental health disorders. So that's really also important because that's really the majority of people with COVID-19 in the US, in Australia, in the UK, globally. And we definitely need to pay attention to the acute effects of COVID, but really we also need to start shifting our framework a little bit of mind and prepare for the aftermath of all of this. The virus that's causing this pandemic, SARS-CoV-2, is actually now capable of producing long-term consequences on a scale that we have never seen before in mental health disorders and also other disorders. And we've seen cardiovascular disease and other disorders. It produces a myriad abnormalities that will stick with people for a lifetime and have really long-term ramifications on their ability to rejoin the workforce, be able to contribute to economy and the quality of life, and also arguably life expectancy. Maybe, COVID will become endemic, but there are millions of people around the world with mental health problems, with heart problems, with kidney problems, as a result of COVID. Those people will need care for decades. And I think that public health authorities in governments and health systems around the world should really start paying attention before it's too late to the aftermath of the pandemic, to the long-term consequences that the pandemic is causing.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.